everybody. Welcome to Digging Deeper Jazz. I'm Jeff Antoniuk. Today, I want to help you sort out your sharp 11s and all of your extensions, flat 9s and sharp 9s, and these things scare us to death. And I want to give you sort of a quick, easy way to think about this. And easy is the main part, not dumbed down, but easy. And by the way, Digging Deeper Jazz is now a podcast. So if you enjoy watching the videos, but let's say you use power saws a lot and maybe you shouldn't be watching the video, all the time, check out the podcast. You can find it everywhere you find podcasts. So, okay, this idea of these extensions that all of us, it doesn't matter what level you're at some point, you start seeing these sharp 11s and flat 9s and they start freaking us out. And now we start getting overwhelmed by this information, right? We've all been there or we are there. Okay, so that's what I want to talk about today. This is going to be short, this is going to be sweet, and it's going to be powerful. So one of the big things to know is that when you see those extensions, we call them, all those upper extensions, they are maybe not there for the reason you think. I remember thinking like, wow, this must be a really aggressive chord. It's got a flat 13 and a flat 9. That must be crazy. Only advanced people could play over that. Actually not true. A flat 9, flat 13 chord is very diatonic. So here's the thing. Today we're going to talk about sharp 11s. When you see these extensions, much of the time, the extension is there to make the chord more diatonic, not less. I think a lot of us think that they're there to amp things up and to make it crazy. Not true. Much of the time, those extensions are there to make it more like the chord that just came before us or the chord we're going to. That is a big deal. That's what we're going to dig into. So let's look at the first example here, and it's Take the A Train. So Take the A Train is an example in the 3rd, 4th measure where we actually do have a note that comes out of the key. So we're in the key of C here, and we do have a sharp 11 in the 3rd and 4th measure, and that is one of the ones that gives us this cool aggressive note that's outside the key. So this is not one of my examples. I want to give you first an example of a sharp 11 that is there to like really spice things up. So let me loop this thing twice through. I'll play Take the A Train the first time through, and the second time through I'll play the little etude that I have here that has very much that same spirit of that sharp 11, and you'll notice there's an accidental out of the key of C major. Any accidentals out of the key of C major, right? So we see that G sharp in the 3rd and 4th measure. That's a sharp 11 that's there to spice things up. That's one category. Okay, so that is a note that's there to spice things up, to take us out of the key. I'm saying that might be an exception. This note here. All right, cool. So that's a sharp 11, and that's sort of what it sounds like when it takes us out of the key. So now I'm suggesting that many of the extensions we see are not serving that purpose. They're actually to make things a little bit more inside. And one thing I want to tell you, as you are listening to this, it's Friday if you're watching this in real time, I am hanging out at Maryland Winter Jazz with about 30 musicians from around the world, Singapore, Australia, Canada, US, all over the place, hanging out with Terrell Stafford and this amazing faculty. Here's why I'm telling you. If you happen to be watching this Friday, on Saturday, we have Mike Stern, guitarist Mike Stern, working with us on Saturday, January 9th. On Sunday, the 10th, we have Chris Potter, one of the great living saxophone players, Chris Potter. I don't know why you haven't signed up for Maryland Winter Jazz. It's shocking to me that you wouldn't want to hang out, do some playing with us. It's all online and virtual. You don't have to travel anywhere. It's all safe. So if you want to get a last minute spot for one of those days, Saturday or Sunday, January 9th or 10th, do it. Why in the world wouldn't you do it? Sign up at MarylandWinterJazz.com. All right, so now let's talk about this idea of an extension is there to make things more diatonic, okay? So look at this example, and it's actually the first 4 chords from Autumn Leaves. It's D minor, G7, C major 7, F major 7. And sometimes we'll see the F major 7 with the sharp 11. I think that's the most correct way of writing it. It's implied. So if your chart or your iReal Pro or whatever doesn't have the sharp 11 on the 4th chord, I think it's implied. I would say it's implied. So if you look at those scales that I wrote down for you. So we played a Dorian scale, followed by a Mixolydian scale, followed by an Ionian scale, followed by a Lydian scale. That's a lot, right? Well, yeah, it was 4 scales with no sharps or flats. It was all from the key of C major. Those were 4 modes of C major. Those would be the basic scalar approach to playing this tune. And so we wanted to keep it diatonic. So you notice the 4th chord, the 4th scale, wasn't an F major chord. It was an F Lydian chord. It has a sharp 4 or a sharp 11, and I'm going to call those synonymous for our purposes here, sharp 4 or sharp 11. So it has that note. To make it weirder? No, to make it more like the chords that came before. So it makes that F major chord more like the C chord, more like that tonality of C. So let me do this. I'm just going to play those scales along with the chords now. See if that sharp 11 sounds weird. I don't think it's going to. So that sounded fantastic, right? Because those chords are all in one key area. Had I played the F major scale, it would have actually sounded wrong. I want you to give it a try. That natural 4 will sound wrong. That will sound out. The sharp 4 or the sharp 11 sounds more inside. That's the point I'm trying to make. So when we see all these extensions, don't think that it's something that's, supposed to end up like the Jackson Pollock painting of jazz. That's not it. It actually makes it more inside. That's the deal. So let me do this. So I'm going to play this little etude I wrote over the first 4 measures of Autumn Leaves. And in that 4th measure, we're going to hear a bunch of the sharp 11. It's not going to sound really bizarre. It's going to sound actually quite inside. So I'll play it twice for you just so you have a chance to hear it. So I'm not sure if you guys heard as I was playing that, my watch dinged and I noticed that I hit my fitness goal for today just by playing a sharp 11. I don't know if I wiggled my elbow just right, but I got it. So sharp 11s will also help you hit your New Year's fitness goals. Who knew? All right, I'm going to leave it there. That is a big deal if that is news to you. And I promise that for the adult amateurs that I love talking to, the semi-pros, most of us are under the illusion that all extensions are for weirdness. Not true. Most extensions are to make things more diatonic. So if you leave the extension out, you're actually going to find a little weirdness. So this argues for knowing the extension and playing it. I'd love to help you with that. So I hope I'm going to see you at Maryland Winter Jazz. Please come spend some time with Mike Stern, Chris Potter. It's going to be amazing. Have a great week.